So what is going on, guys? It is JLJ Fishing here, and today I'm going to be going over the top 5 baits for August bass fishing. During the month of August, it is usually the hottest part of the summer, and we tend to see less rain during this month. Fishing in August can also be very tough, as we all know. In August, bass are deeper or anywhere they can find cool water because it is so hot. The best types of structure to fish during this month is drop-offs and deeper coves. When it becomes sunset, the best fishing is going to be up close to shore because this is the time when the sun is down and the bass come up to the shallows to heavily feed on bait fish. Sunset and sunrise is the best times to throw your topwaters. Now during the day, these fish are going to be very deep, somewhere around 15 to 30 feet deep. Now with all that said, let's talk about the top 5 baits to throw during the month of August. Starting off with number 5, we have the Topwater Frog. Now when I'm fishing with the frog, I use a 7'3" bait caster, heavy action, and you're gonna want to run full braid. The reason for this is because when you're setting a hook, these hooks obviously they're way back in there. You got to really set that hook hard to actually hook the fish. So with mono and fluoro, it just keeps stretching until it breaks. But with braid, it does not stretch at all. It stays put or it just breaks. And I run 40-pound braid, full braid, and that's my setup for frog fishing. The reason the Topwater Frog is on this list is because it is a very versatile bait. Frogs come in many different sizes and all have different action. There's a whopper plopper frog, there's a popping frog, and there's a regular frog. Frogs are equipped with 2 hooks that are hidden inside the body of the frog, which gets exposed when the body of the frog is compressed, which makes it a great choice to fish over vegetation and lily pads. Topwater Frog attracts fish because of its aggressiveness and the commotion it makes on the surface. Fish will bust through that vegetation for that frog because it is so aggressive. During the summer, most bass will be hidden under vegetation and trees that hang over the water because it provides a ton of shade for them. This is why the Topwater Frog is so good, because it can reach those hard to reach places. The whopper plopper frog is best fished in open water close to vegetation and over light vegetation. The popping frog is also best to be fished over light to medium cover or vegetation, and can also be fished in open water near vegetation. Now lastly, the regular frog is best over very thick cover and vegetation. Now coming at number 4, we have the deep diving crankbait. Now when I'm using a deep diving crankbait, I'm using a 7-foot medium action rod, and I'm using 25-pound braid down to 12-pound mono or fluoro. The deep crankbait is a very effective bait during the summer for many compelling reasons. During the summer, bass don't want to work hard for their food because it is so hot and they're less aggressive during the day, so the deep crankbait makes a lot of vibration in the water, which draws fish in from a distance and is so enticing that a bass cannot resist it going past their face. This bait is best fished in deeper water near drop-offs, ledges, and coves. The depth you fish a crankbait will depend on how deep your crankbait can dive. You can figure out how deep your crankbait dives by how long the bill is. The bill is the plastic part on the very front of the bait. The longer and thicker the bill is means the deeper it dives, and the shorter it means it doesn't dive as deep. Most crankbaits say on the bait how deep it dives, but not all do. You have to experiment with your crankbait to find the best depth to fish it in, but I fish in 15 to 20 feet of water, but it all depends on your crankbait and the body of the water you are fishing. Wobble and vibration of a crankbait is perfect because it makes it more difficult to get snagged and also draws fish in from a distance. Now coming in at number 3, we have the bass jig. Now when I'm jig fishing, I use a 7-foot medium action rod equipped with 12-pound mono. Bass jigs are fished in almost every season, but there's something about August that makes this bait really stand out. Jig fishing during August really can't be better. Jigs come in so many different colors and sizes, so you can really adjust to the body of water you are fishing. Depending on the time of day you are fishing, you can fish a jig closer to the bank, skip under docks, trees, and fish deeper, jigging it off the bottom. The jig can be fished over rocks, sand, brush, and weeds, which is why it is on this list. The jig has a weedless feature on it, which makes it very difficult to get snagged on weeds. Now choosing the right trailer to put on your jig can be a very difficult decision. You don't want your trailer to be much longer than your jig, so find a bait that is only about an inch longer than your hook on your jig. You want a trailer that matches the color of your jig, so don't go using a black and blue jig and have a chartreuse trailer on it. If you are fishing in murky water where the visibility is a foot or less, then use a trailer that has a lot of attraction and vibrations like a craw or paddle tail swim bait. On the other hand, if you are fishing a body of water where it is more clear and has more than a foot or 2 of visibility, then use more subtle trailer like a Fluke or even a Sangle can be a great trailer. Coming in at number 2, we have the drop shot. Now when I'm drop shotting, I'm using a 7-foot medium action rod. I'm using 6 to 12-pound line. I go really light, and I want a lighter rod because it's going to give a lot more action with the drop shot, and it's just perfect. The drop shot is great for smallmouth fishing in August, but can also be great to catch you a lot of largemouth. I live in New York where the smallmouth fishing is some of the best fishing around, so the drop shot is an essential bait for August bass fishing. The drop shot is best fished over rocks and gravel because that weight being 18 to 24 inches below your bait makes that bait almost impossible to get snags and gives the bait some great aggressive action. Now I'm going to show you guys how you can tie and rig a drop shot rig. Alright guys, so these are the 3 things you're going to need. You're going to need a nose hook, or you can use a Texas rig hook. It's honestly your choice. Then you're going to need a weight, also of your choice. It just has to be able to be tied on, so it can't be a sliding weight. And then you're going to need the bait of your choice. This is a paddle tail Fluke. I really like these in the 4-inch, so this is what I preferably use. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your line. You're going to take your hook. You're going to make sure that this part of the hook is where your line is going through first. So it wants to be facing towards where your line is coming from. You're going to slide that through. So now after you pulled like a good 18 to 2 feet of line out, it's honestly your choice depending on where you're fishing, if there's a lot of snags or whatnot. Then you're going to take your hook right here, you're going to pinch it, you're going to make a loop just like that. Make sure it's big enough so your hook can fit through it. Alright, there. So you're going to make a loop just like that. Then you're going to take your hook and you're going to twist it around 6 times. Alright, now after you've twisted your hook around, it should look exactly like this. What you're going to do is you're going to slightly pull gently so this does not come undone. You're going to want to pull it evenly on both sides. After you've pulled evenly on both sides, it should come together, look like this, and it should stay in the same spot. It shouldn't be falling down, shouldn't be falling up somehow. It should be exactly like this, stay in that same spot. What we're going to do next is you're going to take the very end of your line, you're going to take your weight, and you're going to tie that on. After you tie on your weight, you're going to cut off that tag end right there. And now, that is your drop shot. Now it's time to put on your bait. Some people decide to just put it on just like this and let it kind of hang there. I like to hide that hook, so I'm going to push my bait all the way through just like I'm putting it on a jig. Just like that. Boom. Completely hide your hook, besides right here. And that is how you guys tie on a drop shot. With a drop shot, you can put on many different baits of all different sizes, ranging from Guggen's 6-inch slim shake worm all the way down to a 2-inch paddle tail swim bait. A drop shot is best fished in 5 to 30 feet of water near points, steep drop-offs, and sunken islands. Now coming at number 1, the best bait for the month of August is the Fluke. Now when I'm fluke fishing, I'm running a 6.5 medium action rod, and I'm using 6 to 12 pound mono or fluoro. The Fluke style bait is the most versatile bait out there in the bass fishing industry. With the Fluke during the month of August, I have caught some giant bass and they just cannot resist this bait. The Fluke is best worked on a weightless extra wide gap hook. With the Fluke rigged weightless on an extra wide gap hook, you can let it sink to the bottom and do jerks like a jerkbait, or you can use it on topwater and get some very aggressive strikes. There is something about the Fluke that just attracts bass and they cannot resist but just crushing this bait. The best locations to fish this bait is in a lot of weeds because bass wait in those weeds to ambush prey, and with the Fluke being weedless, it can go right through those weeds. The Fluke comes in a lot of different colors and sizes, and out of these colors and sizes, the one that has really stood out and anglers have had the most success with is the 5 1/4 inch Pearl White Super Fluke by Zoom. Whether you are fishing from the bank or on a lake, the Fluke will get you tons of bites if you follow these tips and fish it right. And there you have it. Those are my top 5 baits for August bass fishing. Let me know in the comments if you guys learned something new from this video or if you guys want to see more content like this. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you would, take the time, hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.